Hebrews 10, verse 25 says this, "Not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." The whole reason why we've moved forward to offer you these opportunities as we are scattered about is to encourage one another. And for Pastor Paul and I, it has been a joy to offer you encouragement. But when you look at these words in Hebrews, it says encouraging one another. The two of us have offered you a lot of different encouragement from God's word and our own thoughts. And several of you have also encouraged us along this journey. But I know the encouragement doesn't start and stop with us. It's something that we do together, encouraging one another as we share the stories of how God is at work in our life. So this morning, we start something new. We start giving you the opportunity to hear someone else share their story and causing you to think about what's the story that God is at work at in your life as well. Take a look.
Hi, my name is Sarah Kemp, and this is my story. I work as a nurse at St. Francis Hospital, and I'd like to share with you today what God's been up to in my life over the last couple of months. I work in cardiac rehab. However, a couple months ago, when the COVID virus hit, the hospital had to make changes in order to prepare to take care of patients who would have COVID and also to keep our other patients safe. So all non-emergent departments and services were put on hold. So that meant that my job for the time being was going to change. I was asked to step into different roles throughout the hospital during this time. I have to admit, I am not very good with change. So knowing that my job as I know it was not going to be the same when I would go to the hospital every day, and that the COVID virus would probably be around me, I was scared and anxious. I was scared I was going to get the virus, I'd pass it along to my family members. I spent a lot of time in prayer asking God to give me peace and comfort and to protect me in whatever role I was placed in. And one of the Bible verses that really helped me out during this time is from Joshua 1:9. "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Having that verse in my mind has been so helpful. Just reassuring that God is with me during those times when I'm placed in roles that I'm uncomfortable with. He has put so many people into my life to encourage me during this time, and I'd like to share a couple of those with you today. One of the roles that I had at the beginning of this crisis was collecting supplies from community members, such as masks or gloves. One of the donations came from a gentleman who had made homemade masks with his wife. And when I went to pick up the masks from his car, he said, "Do you mind if I step out and pray with you over these masks before you bring them into the hospital?" So he stepped out of the car and we prayed together. And I just felt the sense of peace and knowing that God is not only with me, but also in the community that's supporting us during this difficult and scary time. We've had tons of homemade messages, be it on the sidewalk, chalk leading into the hospital, signs, cards, letters, that personal friends and also community members have given us at the hospital. Being in this situation has also allowed me to meet so many different people in the hospital. I was before only in my own little cardiac rehab department, and now I've met so many different people throughout the hospital. As we've prepared for this, we've had this sense of community that we're working together in order to care for patients. Another story I want to share with you happened last week when I was working as a door screener. Now when patients come into the hospital, we check their temperature and we ask them questions to make sure they don't have any symptoms of heart disease. After I had checked this woman in, she walked to the door, paused, turned around, looked at me, and said, "I call you my beautiful angels, and I appreciate all you do." When she said this, I was reminded that God puts people in my life at just the right time to encourage me and to remind me that He is always with me. This is how God has been at work in my life. This is my story, and I look forward to hearing yours.